It's not been the greatest season for Manchester United over in the Premier League, and it's not been that good either for them over in the Champions League. There's a small chance of some silverware left, and that is the FA Cup. And behind me, I have simulated that FA Cup between the two Manchester sides and to see what the most common result will be at Wembley. Have the red side of Manchester got any hope? We're going to find out. We're going to find out next. Folks, back once again with another simulation video. Today we're going to take a look at my Football Manager 2024 simulations for the FA Cup final. Well, we've done it 100 times, and I'm going to bring you the results, of course, in just a second. If you know where you've been, smash your subscribe button. Your one-stop shop for Football Manager 2024 is right here under one Ruski, of course. And we are now going to wrap up the end of the simulation phases, of course, the videos. We've been doing them all week by taking a look at the All-Manchester FA Cup final, which will take place over at Wembley. We're going to get to it in a second. A big shout out to the VIPs. They are the patrons. You know who you are. And again, if you're new, smash the old subscribe, of course. So we've been doing these all week long with some surprising results. We started with the Euros, Euro 2024, where we did that 100 times. And then took a look at the player finals, the European competitions. And now focus switches to Wembley and the FA Cup. Now, I did do 100 times. Of course, with a whole manner of results, a whole spectrum of results, from some boring 0-0 draws, which were settled via penalties, to some big goal fests as well. So they were all there. And now I'm going to show you the results of those 100 and some predictions. And we did go a little bit over just to make sure we got it. So here are the highlights. There's, of course, the cherry on tops for both Manchester sides for it in this little graphic here coming at you right here and now. So we'll start with the blue half of Manchester with their biggest win throughout the simulations. They did chalk up, if I can get my thing moving, they did chalk up an impressive 4-0 win over Manchester United. That was the biggest over the course of the 100 simulation, the biggest goal margin in their favour, 4-0 win for them. When we flip it around now for the red half of Manchester, their biggest win was a 5-2 win, putting 5 past Man City, but conceding 2 in the process, so only a 3-goal margin in that one. And of course, if we are going to look at the thriller, the one that we really want to take place over at Wembley, is a 7-goal Bobby Dazzler, which did take place 4-3 in the favour of Manchester City, of course. So now that's, of course, just a quick glimmer or a glimpse into the results of these predictions. We are now going to take a little look at the red half of Manchester and their hopes and dreams. Okay, on the screen now is a terrible version of the Manchester United logo. We'll get that off the screen right about now. And have a look at the goal scorers, of course, for Manchester United over the course of this simulation. Now, typically, I'll have these in order, but I've come at you with a bit of a random order, which kind of makes one of the following graphics a little bit more useful. So we're going to just chuck them at you as I wrote them down. So here they come at you in reverse order, well, just from the bottom all the way up to the top. So Manchester United, over the course of the 100 and some simulations, scored 116 goals. That's at least over a goal a game. So there is a hope in there for Manchester United, of course. The goal scorers included. There was 2 own goals by Manchester City players to put in the back of the Manchester United net. Varane got himself a couple of goals. Who's already announced that he will be leaving Manchester United at the end of the season. Probably, I would say, Saudi Arabia is calling. Meanwhile, Martinez got himself just the 1 goal. He also, alongside him, was Wan-Bissaka, chipping in with 4 goals in the FA Cup final against Man City. Casemiro got himself 6. He will be going to Copa America, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. So looking forward to seeing him in the... He might not be going, actually. I'm not too sure if he is or if he is. Let me know. I do remember him. There was some controversial picks for the Brazilian team for Copa America. And I know Jesus is not there. Richarlison's not there. Casemiro may not be there. Anyway, Shaw is in there just for giggles. He got nothing. He did get himself a red card. I'll explore them in a minute. Højlund, that's right, there he is. Just saw him yesterday scoring a goal against the Geordies from the bench. 17 goals for him. Young striker. Next season, keep an eye on him. I think he should do better than he did this season. Meanwhile, Mason Mount got himself 10 goals over the course of those 100 and some simulations. Rashford chipping in with our impressive 24. Is he the top man for Manchester United? Is there anybody who could match him in regards to goals? Well, we'll see shortly. Fernandes got himself 15, of course. Quite a few pens along the way. Joined by Maino. He got himself 4 4 goals, of course, within those simulations. Garnacho got himself 10. Well done to him. And of course, top of the list, not necessarily the main goal scorer, it is everybody's favourite. It is, I gave it a little teaser. It's Anthony, that's right, 21 goals. Wow, wow, wee, wow. Of course, so those were Manchester United's goal scorers. They were on the receiving end of 12, I repeat that, 12 red cards. 1 for Martinez. Casemiro got himself 1 red card, which is a surprise. Shaw got 3. Wow, wow, wee, wow. Fernandes, the same, but the main man, of course, it is Anthony. Got himself 4 red cards over the course of those 100 and some simulations. So that is the red half of Manchester. What about the blue half of Manchester? Well, have a little look. Their logo is there as well. It's around about there. You can just see it. Here it is, of course, a longer list of some more goal scorers. So what did Manchester United got? 116 goals. Well, Man City chirped in with an impressive 182 goals. So you might be thinking we are leaning to one preferred side of Manchester than the other. But I want to tell you right here, right now, full disclaimer, there is good news for both sides of Manchester here. So don't jump the gun just yet. But let's have a look at the goal scorers over the course of the 100 and some simulations. At the bottom there, well, not necessarily at the bottom, Guardiola got himself just the 1 goal. Akanji just the 1 goal as well. Nathan Ake got 3. Of course, own goals. There was 3 Manchester United players putting the ball in the back of their own net. We had Nunez got himself 5 goals. That's the former Wolves man there. Alvarez just the 2 for him as a surprise. Diaz got himself 6 goals, which is of course a pretty decent number. Rodri got himself 10, of course. Well done him. Doku 5. Of course, as he chips in with some relevant goals, important goals. Grealish just outside the top 5 with 13 goals for him. So we break into not necessarily the top 5. Again, this is not top 5 order. We'll try and rejig that shortly here. But Silva with 14 goals there. The final 4 revealed. It will well go the wrong way. De Bruyne with 15 goals. Well done there. Foden 26. But of course, the main man was Haaland with 75. Of the goals. Stones up there with 3. There you go, as you do. Of course, there were some red cards for Man City as well, just 5 of them over the course of the simulations. Rodri with 1, Grealish got 1, De Bruyne got 1, and Silva got himself 2. So let's put all those numbers together and have a little look at the reveal of the red cards. So 17 total red cards over the course of the 104 simulations or so. And of course, they look like this, all chipping in with 1 red card. Silva with 2, Shaw 3, Fernandes 3, and Anthony with 4. So of the 17, at least what we're looking at least 10 of them going into the red half of Manchester there. And the goals, the top 10 goal scorers from the 2 clubs combined come at you right here, right now. So into 10th spot is Rodri with 10 goals. Got him into the top 10. Joined by Grealish, who got himself 13 goals. He's into 9th spot. Into 8 is Silva as an all blue, of course. Top 10 so far. Silva with 14 goals. But that streak is broken with Fernandes coming in there with 17 goals. And then De Bruyne makes it blue once again with 15 goals. Højlund there breaks again a bit of a blue dominance with 17 goals. Anthony up there alongside him now to make it a little bit more even. Stevens, Rashford levels the playing field off with 4 apiece with 24 goals as well. But the top 2 are both blue. It is Foden just ahead of Rashford, and Haaland, the cheat code, 75 goals for the season, for the simulation as well. So those are the goal scorers. That's of course just a bit of a teaser now. Let's of course have a look at the important numbers, the breakdown of the 104 simulations. We're going to go through them one by one, starting with the win column, which is of course cold hard facts. Not going to sugarcoat it. This is the bottom line here. The ultimate, the 104 simulations completed. Out of those 104, which way are we looking at here? Well, the numbers are, of course, lopsided to a point. 40 wins for Manchester United, 64 wins for City. It's not as bad as I first thought. I thought it was more like 75 plus. But might I give themselves a bit of a chance here? So, you know, it's leaning a little bit towards the blue. Just to confirm, those are the defeats there. Now, within those 104 simulations, how many games ended in the 90 minutes? Well, 76 of those ended within the 90 minutes. Now, the breakdown of those 76, which way do they go? Well, I picked up 28 victories, Manchester City 48. So out of the 104, 76 times they finished within 90 minutes. Man City winning 48 of those. So we do have a small selection of games that fall into that extra time penalty bracket. So let's have a look at those then, shall we? Extra time. How many games ended in extra time? 17 ended up in extra time. How many, of course, just extra time, by the way? How many of those went in favour of Manchester United? 6 of them. If you could do the math then, 11 of them favouring Man City. So still all blue, to be honest with you. But now comes, of course, a sliver of hope for Manchester United. It is penalties. How many games ended in penalties? Well, 11 of those ended in penalties. How much of those 11 were red? 6 go in favour of Manchester United and 5 go in favour of Manchester City. And if we combine those extra time and penalties together, 28 of those did fall into that category. 16 in favour of Man City and 12 in favour of Manchester United. And the goals, of course, we already know about that. Nearly 300 goals scored in total. 116 for Manchester United, 182 for Manchester City. So basically what I'm trying to say here is Manchester City are favoured, overwhelmingly so. Look at the bookies, look at the form, look at the Premier League table. Just look at Manchester City right now. Look at the coach. They are, of course, going to be favoured for this game no matter what. But what my bottom line is here, it's a football game. Anything can happen. Of course, if we are playing this game 104 times, more than likely Manchester City are going to come out on top. However, what the stats say, what the simulations say, is if it does go to penalties, Manchester United have the slight edge. Maybe, just maybe, it's the experience in there. Maybe, of course, you've got better penalty takers on the books. You've got Casemiro, you've got Eriksen, you've got Rashford, of course, or maybe Højlund is a good penalty taker. You've got Bruno Fernandes. There are some good, strong penalty takers in the books for Manchester United. But ultimately, Manchester City should get this job done within the 90 minutes and bring the FA Cup trophy back to Manchester, but back to the blue side of Manchester. Is my simulation bang on the nose, or will it be, of course, prove to be garbage? Well, we'll see, of course, when we the results at Wembley come to full effect there. But that's it, guys. There you have it. That's, of course, my short take on, of course, the FA Cup final with the 104 simulations from Football Manager 2024. If you like these kind of videos, smash your like. If you don't like them, smash the like anyway. Of course, we're going to be back next season with maybe some more simulations. I've got a whole library full of Football Manager, and I've got some experiments that I've got up my locker that I'd like to explore next campaign. Until then, though, subscribe, smash the like. I'll see you soon for the next one. But until then, we are done.